had the hardest run of them all with 4 kids running around, long times away from the family over there at Oxygen Gym. This is the best he's ever done in this year, and I'm sure you'll see more.
Presenting the 4th place award, representing MHP, the CEO, Gerard Tete.
This will be interesting, Dan. Broly and Williams did not stand next to each other against air.
Looking in the eyes of the champion, you gotta wonder what he's thinking right now.
For $55,000.
4th place.
And presented to William the Conqueror Bonus.
As predicted yesterday, Dan, I thought he came in a little heavy. He dropped one notch. He's not stopping anybody's face. But he's a little too heavy on this stage. If he dries up a little bit more, drops a little bit of weight, that's hard to say. I think he can streamline this physique and be right back in the hunt again. But right now, he's remaining in the top 4. And he came off an Arnold Classic Championship. That's not an easy thing to do. And a year ago, he didn't have to deal with that.
And then there were 3, the top 3 bodybuilders on the planet. Bill Heath, Willie Winkler, and Sean Roden await the announcement of 3rd place.
Rolly is in a very unfamiliar
Presenting the
position
award, representing Bonus.
at this moment.
It's Tete. He takes the 3rd place award, the Olympia bronze medal. He checked for $100,000 to your 3rd place finisher, Rolly Winkler.
Hello, Sean Ray, your People's Champion is the number 3 bodybuilder in the world. A terrific Olympia showing for Willie as he continues to fine-tune that massive physique, those freaky proportions, and he has turned it in to what is now one of the top physiques on the planet. Willie Winkler is your 3rd place finisher.
With $100,000 to show for it, man, that was earned the hard way. Rolling Winkler very deserving, very popular, and his status and his stock in this industry has just gone up twofold. And then there were 2.
We have Sean Roden and Phil Heath on the center line, please.
We've seen this play out before as Phil Heath held off a fast-starting Sean Roden several years back. And now we're going to see the runner match.
And what's at stake? The runner-up will win $150,000. The winner will win $400,000. And in Olympia tradition, Bob Ciccarello will probably announce the winner.
You here will be your 2018 Mr. Olympia. Presenting the 1st place award, representing Midway Labs, Mr. Wilton Kelly and Catherine Kelly, and our IFBB Pro League President, Mr. Jim Mannion. I will now announce the winner of the 2018 Olympia. We take the Sandow Trophy, the Olympia Gold Medal, the check for $400,000, and the title of 2018 Mr. Olympia. To our winner and new Olympia champion.
There it is. It has happened in Las Vegas for just the 14th time. We have a new Mr. Olympia. The defending champion has been knocked out. Sean Roden is your 2018 Olympia champion. Phil Heath's run, at least for now, will end at 7 in one of the most probable developments Phil Heath stands at center stage, congratulating the winner, Sean Roden. And I got to tell you, Sean Ray, coming into this weekend, there weren't many people that would have ever cared to predict this outcome.
Absolutely, and I wasn't one of those guys that thought that for 2 seconds. However, I talked to a fellow professional bodybuilding friend of mine from Italy, Gianluca. He saw Sean Roden on Wednesday night the day I arrived. He has a show coming up, the M.OLYMPIA in Italy next weekend. He said he saw Sean Roden, and Sean Roden was going to win this show. And I looked him in the eye, and I could not believe what he was saying. Sean Roden has accomplished what no other man has in over 10 years.
Our coverage is going to continue after the break. Stick around, guys.
You said you can play with. Look at it. Wow. Isn't that cool? All right, let's talk with the champ. Sean, congratulations, my friend. You have done the unthinkable. You have beaten the Olympia champion, Phil Heath. You believed in yourself. You told everybody you were not messing around. You came here to win. And you are the new Mr. Olympia.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for now showing support for us. Amazing athlete, Jim Mannion, C. White Merger, all these wonderful judges. Thank you guys so much. My family for making it out here. And it's been a long journey. It's been a long journey, and I'm thankful for today. Yes, today that I was able to fight my way to something that I believe that I was going to be number 14.
And you are number 14. Only 14 men in history since 1965 have held this title. Some of those great names that you know, of course. And you just beat a hell of a champion in Phil Heath, the 7-time champion. Nobody thought he could be beaten, but you did it.
I've been watching Phil since 2012, taking a lot of notes, and I know people might laugh at me when I say that, hey, one day I was going to be Mr. Olympia, but here I am, folks. This is probably my hardest prep ever, but I wanted it so bad. I'm thankful that I'm here.
Well, Sean, look at that Sandow trophy down there. That's going to look really nice up on that mantle, isn't it?
I haven't even think that far, you know. This past couple of days has just been a roller coaster. You know, I have a great supporting cast, Chris and Cito, Psychic Fitness. My training partner make it to the Olympia for the first time, standing up. And I'm going to tell you, man, they beat the crap out of me these past couple of months just here. And to all your fans out here for your support. You know, every time I look and I hear someone say, Sean is too small, Sean is spending too much time with his family, Sean looks like he's retired. But it's okay. We had a game plan and we stuck to it. And we found a way to come here. Did everything that I possibly could have can to look good this weekend.
Well, Sean, you certainly did more than look good. You look great, and the judge is certainly rewarding that with an Olympia victory. Take me through yesterday. After prejudging, what were your feelings after you stepped off the stage?
To be honest, man, I walked out here yesterday, and I looked at Chris and I said, it's only Friday. You know, I know a lot of people had me, you know, winning or a close second, but I just looked at Chris and said, it's only Friday, Chris. We still have Saturday, let's just focus on today. And that's what we did, one day at a time.
What did you think when you came here tonight for the final, Sean? Did you think you had it? Did you think Bill was going to eat you? We all know Bill comes back better on Saturday, so you knew you had a battle coming up tonight. But what were your feelings? Did you think you had it?
Listen, guys, feeling knows loud. I've been chasing him since 2012, so I know in the back of my mind, I'm like, hey, you know what, he's missed a Saturday night. He come in here and he could look his all-time best. But again, I looked at Chris and Cedar, and Chris said, hey, you know what, Sean? You'll be better than you were yesterday. And if that man believed in me, I'm good.
All right, Sean Roden. Right here in the center, I want you to hit your first pose as your new 2018 Mr. Olympia. You know that it's not easy to get back, son.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. 14. I don't even want to use the word lucky. This was earned and the hard work.
And please help me in celebrating your new Olympia champion, Sean Roden.
Sean Roden, as we've known through the years, is a man of few words. He lets his physique do all the talking. He did just that tonight. And it took 54 years. We have ourselves a 14th champion.
By way of Jamaica, this is the guy that took 7 years off of bodybuilding to care for his alien father who passed away, came back, turned pro by winning the North American Championships, and slowly started to serve notice by winning the Honor Classic over in Spain. Came out, got second runner-up here, and now he became the Buster Douglas of modern-day bodybuilding by knocking out the reigning defending champion. Here's our top 5 leaderboard.
Sean Roden wins it. He defeats the defending champion Phil Heath and Willie Winkler. Of course, what we are learning now, William Ronak in fourth and Brandon Curry rounds out the top 5. We're waiting for those other scores to come in so we can round out the top 10. We don't have to wait till later in the program to get that. First things first, Sean Roden has defeated Phil Heath in a stunning turn of events. Not so stunning if you consider the pace of the show, but stunning when you consider what we walked into as we arrived here in Vegas. There were very few people that ever considered the possibility that Sean Roden, at the roster's 5th place finish, was going to come in well above 40 years old and win this competition. But a tremendous event, and we're going to take a quick break.
Got backstage.
I know you had a plan going back.
I'm going to throw things backstage down and trying to get an audience with our reigning champion for 2018, Sean. Oh, Lex Lewis, our 212.
The gentleman to my right has just been one part of all the history that has been made tonight here at the 2018 Olympia. And Flex Lewis, congratulations. You are the 212 champion once again for the 7th time.
It's very surreal again. There's an execution plan made 20 weeks out, and of course, my body was telling me at 226, jump on stage. And we just had to rechange the plan. And getting here today has come without its own sacrifice, and from everybody, from the family, all to see me fulfill my dream. My coach Neil Hill doing what he does is absolutely phenomenal. And again, I'm lost for words. I think I left everything up on stage in what I said tonight.
Well, it's unusual at 34 years old that we hear somebody step to center stage and talk about the fact that they are walking away. And you'll have to forgive my skepticism a little bit, because when we look at your physique, when we look at your energy and where you're at in your life, that you have still a lot more to do as a bodybuilder. So I'm going to challenge you a little bit on that, and I'm going to question this decision. Are you sure now is the time to step away? And give us some clarity on this plan. Are you stepping away from this division? Are you stepping away from the sport? Is there a bigger picture plan that you want to fill us in on?
Well, as you know me, Dan, I always have a plan of things, and I'm all about breaking down barriers and opening new doors. What I've achieved in this sport, you know, as a kid, if I thought about it, it blows my mind, you know, but I dream big. And as a 212 athlete, you'll never hear that name being called out again on stage. But for the future, I think there's going to be definitely a time and a place where I definitely jump back on stage as an open class guy. But it's got to be done right. It's got to be done in the pace that allows me to grow, mature in the right areas without rushing. And that being said, you know, I've got a lot of irons in the fire, and I'm ready to open a lot of doors that bodybuilders haven't had the chance to yet. And I've already done that this year. So I'm excited to explore new avenues. Like I said, open doors for the whole fitness industry into what I'm doing. And there's a lot of things that I need to fulfill from the personal standpoint before I even think about opening the door to standing on the open stage.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'll let you put a bookmark in your career, at least for now. We're not going to let you off the hook that easily. But I had a son who was in the audience tonight. And when I heard you talk about never giving up on your dreams and inspiring fans really around the world the way you do, that's such a big part of your story. It's such a big part of your message. And you've done such a great job of serving as a tremendous ambassador to the sport. So, Flex, I applaud you for that. And what you are is so much more than a physique. You are somebody that has brought an important message and important energy to a sport that oftentimes needs that positivity.
Yeah, and again, bodybuilders have been given this cliche, right? And when I got into this sport, long before I became the champion, I wanted to break that stereotype. And that is still a personal goal of mine. I've broken these barriers. And again, with where I am in life right now, it's about having the mainstream look at a champion with a different mindset and a different eye, and again, representing the sport on stage and off. So the next generation, all these new young blood coming through, I put the bar up high. And again, representing on stage and off is what this medal means, and has them for me long before the medal was around my neck. And aspiring people, the young kids like yourself, and I do live by that motto, dream big. And everybody out there should dream big, never give up new goals, and again, just have that belief that whatever whatever you put your mind to, you can achieve.
And for Flex Lewis, his dreams came true 7 times. Your 2018 under 212 champion. Congratulations, Flex. Well done. We're going to go ahead and bring in somebody else who has just made a bit of history. You know, we give these interviews every year where we get to stand here and talk to the winner of the Mr. Olympia. It's one of the great privileges, one of the great things that I get to do each and every year is talk to the #1 bodybuilder in the world in the moments after an Olympia is settled. And I'm not going to lie to you, Sean, never in a million years did I imagine that I'd be standing here talking to you as the greatest champion. Having said that, when you walked out tonight and what you presented last night and again tonight, it was extraordinary. The fans around the world agreed with the decision. You delivered something remarkable. You bounced back from a year ago where you were off and you talked about some of those trials and tribulations going into last year's competition. And in one of the more improbable turn of events, you have won a Sandow Trophy. You are the 14th man to do so. So for that, we congratulate you on an extraordinary achievement.
Thank you. It's haven't sunk in us yet, but it's been a long year from last Olympia. Broken jaw, mouth wired shut. Had to eat to a straw. Had to blend all my food. Still able to make my way to the top 5 last year, and I started my prep this year for the Arnold Classic. Ended up with 2 bleeding ulcer, and 8 blood transfusion. Had to pull out the last couple of weeks. And I wanted to make a statement for this year's Olympia. And when I told people it's going to win the Olympia this year, a lot of people kind of laughed at me because I looked like I was about to be retired. But I have a great coach, Chris Aceto, a great trainer, Psycho Fitness 21, and a training partner that will never let me quit. Plus, my family was always like, hey, you know what? Just focus.
Let's get down to brass taxes here. You beat a really good champion tonight. Phil Heath has done remarkably over the last 7 years, winning this title, and he came in very confident this weekend. He thought he had this thing coming into the competition. You were very confident, as we saw from the very early phases of the weekend. You came out here, took care of business. Talk about not what it feels like to be Mr. Olympia. Talk about what it feels like to defeat the great Phil Heath.
I've been on stage with Phil since 2011. It's a great feeling, man, because, again, Phil is no slouch. You have Dexter Jackson, former Mr. Olympia, also, that were on stage. And I know these guys are 2 champions, and they worked their butt off, and everybody was going to come in here firing in all cylinders. So, Rolly Winkler and William Bonac blew up the chain this year. One thing that my coach told me is that, Sean, just stay in your own lane. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Just focus on what you need to do. The only thing that we need to do here for this Olympia is to bring the best Sean Roden ever. Because if you bring the best Sean Roden ever, it's going to be very hard for anyone to beat you. And I believe that.
You're also one of the oldest men to win this competition for the first time. I think Chris Dickerson may have been a year older. How old are you? Put out the number.
43.
43. I think Chris Dickerson was also 43 when he won the competition. So hopefully some of our historians out there will determine if you are the oldest to actually win the contest for the first time. How many more years?
I'll be back. I'm going to leave it at that.
Well, I do want to just put some perspective for you, if I could, before I let you on. The Olympia Winners Club is the most prestigious club in this sport. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sergio Oliva, Dorian Yates, the Ronnie Colemans, Jake Cutlers. You are Phil Heath. You are in that club. No matter what happens for you going forward, no matter what happens to you for the rest of your life, you are forever a Mr. Olympia champion. Pick up that Sandow trophy and show the world what you have just done. Remarkably, extraordinarily, impressively, and well-deserved. Sean Roden, your 2018 Mr. Olympia champion. Any final thoughts before you get out of here and go eat?
just want to thank my family for putting up with me the last couple of weeks. I miss my family, training in LA. My coach, Chris Acita, and Psycho Fitness. Thank you guys so much for continuing to believe in me when everybody else stopped.
And then there were 14. Sean Roden, congratulations, our newly crowned Olympia champion. I think that's going to wrap things up here from Las Vegas at the Orleans Arena. Our coverage of Joe Weider's Olympia weekend has now come to an incredible close with the crowning of a new champion. They often say in this sport of bodybuilding, the most memorable nights are the nights where a champion is crowned for the very first time. And Sean Roden, thanks to you have given us that moment. For all of us here, we appreciate the hard work of Robin Chang and everybody over at the Olympia production team, our director, Luz Wick, my co-hosts, Amanda Latona and Hall of Famer Sean Ray. For our newly crowned champion, Sean Roden, I'm Dan Solomon. Good night.
From the United States of America, Lou Ferrigno. From France, Serge Dubin.
Olympia to weight ratio. And again, the quads a little bit overpowering, the hamstrings here. Good triceps, good biceps, nice chest. It's competitive. Good vascularity on.
You're watching our coverage of the Friday night show here from Las Vegas. Olympia weekend is well underway. Now we have crowned some champions tonight in the senior division with Sidney Gillett claimed the title in the fitness division with Whitney Jones, and our class A champion is once again Rio. And we appreciate you joining us tonight as we take you through the action. Dan Sullivan along with Sean Ray. A big shout out to our friends at iHerb.com and Muscle Farm for presenting tonight's live coverage. So, Sean, as we make our way through the 212, give us a sense real quick. This is a great physique up here, by the way, if you look at Ricardo Correa Give us a sense for how this division has changed since it was first introduced and David Henry won for the first time. We've seen an evolution in the division and in the way that streets present. Talk about that.
Well, it started in 2008. David Henry was in the first 202. They bumped it up to 212, and Fletcher Lewis put right in there very comfortably and had a couple of challenges along the way, but we've seen bodybuilders that otherwise might be retired continue with their careers because they have opportunity on the global scale to qualify for this event here. And again, it's a very international lineup of bodybuilders. It's giving them life. I'm not particularly fond of the disparity in prize money. We can open at 212 and we push that gap to close a little bit so that it's a little more fair and more equitable. These are some of the hardest looking bodybuilders you're going to find. The shortcoming is that they're short. The shortcoming is that they're light. But the majority of bodybuilders on a global scale fall right into this category. And I'm not saying that because that's right fit. Bodybuilders right around 5'8", 5'6", and
We
penalized
from the USA.
they work just as hard as the bodybuilders.
Dixon.
We need to give them some more prize money.
There's Sharp. Up the Honor Class of 212, scored a victory in Indianapolis, and always a perennial contender when he competes in these contests, and has had himself a nice career. He's a guy who's been around a long time, lives and breathes the bodybuilding lifestyle. And Sean, give us a take on Charles Dixon.
Because Charles Dixon is right now the William Boda of the 212. He put on a little bit too much weight. It's gone to his waist, makes it look a little bit foxy. The quads don't have the detail, and the abs don't have the detail. So the skin is a little bit thicker, and he reminds me of what we just saw with William Boda in the open category. What little extra weight can do to a short guy in terms of changing the dynamic of their first impression. He's lacking the abdominal detail that he once had. And he's not getting younger, he's getting a little bit older. He poses like a small bodybuilder, like Franklin Columbo. He needs to open up a little bit, extend a little bit more, and exaggerate his poses so that you can see a little bit more of the floor of the feet instead of crunched up in a little small space. It's hard to do a fight with 3 days. Dixon's a veteran of the stage. He's been doing this for an awful long time. He's had his share of victories. The Olympia stage is not one of them, but sometimes just getting here at the end of the year is a victory for both. It's different than guys are walking around saying, I'm an IFB Pro League member, and the guy says that I'm an Olympia competitor.
The proverbial bend from the boys right there. This is the crowd that everybody wants to be in. And Charles Dixon has now been here 7 times. So it's not a new experience for him. But what a great energy around Las Vegas over the course of this weekend. They're in from all over the world to watch bodybuilding's greatest weekend. We're obviously excited to be here each year. But this event has shaped up to be something pretty interesting because so far we haven't seen anybody just show up and hit it out of the park yet. And I'm talking in both of the divisions now. There isn't the story as of yet. Now, of course, Rulli brought something pretty exceptional, and Roden is going to be the talk of the weekend, right? Because Sean Roden delivered something pretty impressive.
Absolutely. I mean, Rulli has closed the door on some of these guys, and we didn't think that was going to happen. He slowly hitched up on them. And again, you have some bodybuilders that slowly will start disappearing from the landscape of the open division. This is not one of them. This is a new cat that came on strong at the Honor Classic, I believe it was, and he's showing a very good sense of condition, posing, and quality that the guys from the Middle East are bringing. This guy right here, I believe, is from Libya. That comes from Libya. So it's showing the diversity of where these athletes come from. You know, the Olympics here in Lebanon, the magical Egyptian Muhammad Makwe was from Egypt. The Middle
Gentlemen, quarter turn to the right. Quarter turn right.
All right, through these quarter turns, I'm going to pick your brain a little bit and see if you can give us some insight on how this thing might play out as defending champion Flex Lewis is in his spot in the center, adorned by Kamal to his left and Derek to his right. Jose Raymond on the far left, Kanani on the far right.
Aesthetically speaking,
Side check.
Derek Lunsford has the best looking structure. But again, it's a little raw, needs a little better condition, needs a little more muscle maturity. Flex is only in this lineup right now.
Back double bicep.
Jose is not where he needs to be, especially throughout the midsection. And again, Ashkenani is missing a little bit of detail in the hamstrings and front quadriceps. Which then leaves us with only 3 guys up there that this show is going to come down to. And Kamal is obviously the most conditioned, I believe, out of all of them.
At this point, is there any question in your mind who's going to win this competition?
I'm going to reserve that for the open class. This one right now, I got Flex Lewis winning this competition, going away into retirement. By the quality of his muscle.
There's just enough things right about that physique, about that look, about what he was able to bring to this stage. As the defending champion, it's going to be tough for him to be defeated, but you can see what's to like about Derek and Kamal. Their physiques are tremendous, and just a little tweaking, a little fine-tuning, this competition could have gone another way, but Flex Lewis, as they say, did what he had to do.
Absolutely. Well, the thing about it is that, okay, then there's second and third. And Kamal's making a very strong case to being the run. Especially Derek has a better, more aesthetic physique, especially in the lower quad.
All right, well, so it's the final pose down in the career of Jose Raymond, and of course, one of the first in the young career of Derek Lunsford as his career continues to skyrocket. Flex Lewis has moved away from the backbone as the tradition of the defending champ. He will ask the other four to chase him around the stage as we do so often way back in the day.
Yeah, following the champ's not always the best thing to do. I'm going to say, but Derek feels like maybe this is the last opportunity while Ahmad Ashkenani is establishing himself as an individual here.
I do want to say, Kamal Adoni from Libya, he should be incredibly proud of what he has brought. He has a star was born this weekend. He's an exceptional bodybuilder. A good case could be made that he did everything that he had to do. But then the question is, on a night where the defending champ came in looking the way he did, creates a difficult dynamic for him to get over the top. But he is a big-time superstar now in this division. And when this show is over, he has to be on any list of contenders now going into next year.
Absolutely. And Derek is holding his own on that back of a bicep next to Flex Lewis because they're both relatively in the same kind of condition. Derek needs a little bit more upper pecs and he needs some more biceps as well. But Kamal is holding his own and represented very good here tonight, while I think Jose Raymond is going to probably wind up in fifth.
And by the way, as we talk about Jose Raymond's final contest, Flex Lewis has said he's not going to compete for a while, and there's no promises, there's no guarantees that he competes again. He said he's going to walk away, he's going to catch his breath, he's going to reassess all aspects of his life. So
sometimes walking away, Dan, or taking a break, taking a year off, it might be the best reform.
Sure. So at the very least, we know we're not going to see Flex Lewis for quite some time.
I won't be surprised if you see him here next year if the timing's right, because he could wind up in the top 6 of Olympia, Dan. And that might be just enough appeal to do it one more time before you walk away. It's hard to make a comeback. If you're going to ever do it, you want to see the Open, he could come and do the Open next year, and he could be in the top 6.
Midway led, Vice President of Captain College.
Sean Ray, here we go.
The fifth place award, the check for $3,000 and presented to Jose Reyes.
All right, so in his final appearance ever on a bodybuilding stage, he goes in the top 5. You can say he's gone out on his own terms, a very formidable, a very respectable showing. And you can be sure those two have had more than their share of battles. There is a tremendous friendship, a tremendous amount of respect between Flex Lewis and Jose Raymond. Tonight's fifth place finisher here at the Olympia 212.
Absolutely. He commands respect just from the journey that he's been on. We all know how hard it is year after year to beat this man. And these athletes know that Jose's done it better than anybody else.
Presenting the fourth place award, representing Muscle Tech, is Nicole Ariel. Presenting the fourth place award, the check for $5,000 to our fourth place finisher, Ahmad Ashkenani.
Well, last year's runner-up falls to fourth this year in 2018, and you can be sure this is not what he came here for. He was not pleased with the way it went last night, and quite frankly, I'm sure he's not pleased with this outcome, but he's taking it with a degree of class and respect, and you got to appreciate that. Ahmad Ashkenani is not going anywhere. He will be a factor in this division for the years to come. But for this year, he's going to have to settle Sean Ray for fourth place.
He's class all the way. And trust me, he knows who he's losing to on this stage. They can all take turns at one time or another. But unfortunately, you got to peak on the night, on the day. This second and third is going to be an interesting call out, man. Because, of course, we know Derek is coming up from the rear view in terms of his youth. But Kamal is one of those guys that's going to be an interesting thing in the future.
We take the third place award, the Olympia bronze medal, the check for $10,000, and presented to Kamal O'Darney.
All right, Kamal O'Darney, one of the big stories of the weekend from Libya. He takes the third place medal, and you can be sure he did everything that he could to make his case. I know a lot of his fans, a lot of fans around the world have been extremely impressed by what he presented, by what he delivered here at this competition.
As am I. The condition is what got him there. Doesn't have the most pleasing physique, but again, we know how hard it is, Dan, to get bricked up, hold it, and peak on the day. Sometimes guys that can do that put their name on that final list.
Presenting the second place award, Zach Ziegler, executive editor of Muscle Fitness Magazine. We say the second place award, the Olympia silver medal, the check for $19,000 to our runner-up this evening, Derek Lunsford.
All right, Derek Lunsford going to take second place. Sean Ray, a big showing for this young man who was kind of burst onto the scene last year. He stuck his claim to what's clearly a fast track to success, and here is a year later. And the only thing that stood in the way of Derek Lunsford winning this title was one of the all-time greats, Flex Lewis. So tip your cap to Derek Lunsford. He is your second place finisher here at the 2008 Olympia 212 competition.
Saw him coming a year ago. This is only his second Olympia showdown, and with that being said, the future looks mighty bright for this kid. A year from now, Dan, you can see him wearing
the first place
experience
award,
with James
Devin
Flex
Colley
Lewis.
and program president, Mr. Jim Mannion. And we say
Derek is paying
the first place award, the Olympia gold medal. The first place check for $40,000. And the title of 2018 212 Olympia champion and 7-time Olympia champion, Flex
There it is, the pride of Wales. At 34 years, he has won 7 titles here in the Olympia 212. He said coming into the year he wanted to win 7 because his idol Arnold Schwarzenegger did just that. He wanted to equal that number, and he wanted to exit this division on his own terms as a champion. He has done just that. He wins this competition for his family. He wins this competition for his family and friends back at home in Wales. And he wins this competition because he is the greatest under 212 competitor of all time. We're back after the break. And we are back. Flex Lewis has just been announced the winner of the 212 competition, the Olympia 212. He is the champion for the 7th consecutive year. Dan Solomon along with Sean Ray. It has been a privilege to call a very competitive, a very impressive 212 lineup. And Sean, I'd love to get your take on the history that was just made by James Flex Lewis.
I'd like to tell you, Dan, categorically, James has nothing to prove to anybody. He's already proven it, and Bob will interview him now.
All right, here with the now 7-time Olympia champion Flex. I know those are words you've been waiting to hear all year. You announced some time ago, Flex, that this was going to be it for you. You were calling it a day on the 212 Olympia stage, and no better way to go out with your 7th title.
Thank you, Bob. Yeah, this year has been one of the most memorable preps to date, and it hasn't been without its ups and downs. You know, as a champion, I'm big enough to admit that, you know, I've fallen many times and I've learned from every one of my mistakes. And this year, you know, it's taught me a lot about personal growth, about, you know, just representing what this medal around my neck means. And when I really put my head into this prep, thanks to a lot of people in this room, you know, I trained for that #1 spot, and I came here to defend, set the record, equal my all-time, you know, greatest inspiration, Arnold Schwarzenegger's record. And I've done it. I've done it. You know, I'm a kid from Wales who had a dream. And that dream was to be on this Olympia stage. I know I'm here. I sacrificed so much to be here. And again, everything in life, if you want something, you've got to go for it. I left my family in Wales to come to America, slept on a sofa, all to pursue this dream. I know this dream is a reality. And again, like I said, I've fallen many times, but I've gone back up, I've dusted myself off, and I've learned from my mistakes so I can be a better person, a better human. And now I can say that I am the American dream. The American dream is alive. I'm living it.
All right, Flex, with no better way to go out. Your buddy Jose just did it earlier. We're going to give you the same opportunity. You're going to stay right here, center circle, my friend. Oh, you got more to say. Okay. It's a 3-hour show, Flex.
It's my last show. I want to say thank you so much to the IFBB Pro League for giving me this opportunity to do what I do, traveling over the world, represent as a champion to each and every one of you. I want to thank each and every one of these judges who have represented and stood in front of me and judged me, again, all around the world, including the Olympias. Special thanks to the Mannion family, Steve Weinberger, and also my coach, Neil Hill, of 16 years. This guy believed in me from my very first show. And I am where I am because of that man. And again, living the American dream, I achieved so much through bodybuilding to now have an amazing house, an amazing life, a beautiful family, all through bodybuilding. Again, guys, believe to achieve, dream big. Don't let anybody talk you out of your goals and your dreams. I was told more times that I'd never do this than I did. You have to believe and surround yourself with the people that are there for you, because my team around me have been there for years. Again, I'm going to leave this stage by saying one last thing. Each and every one of you fans, guys, you do not believe how much you motivate me. I know that sounds cliche, but it isn't. You've got me out of the hardest ruts, through the hardest training sessions, the messages that you give me. I put it all into this 7th title right here. From me to you, thank you so much, guys. Seriously, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet for one of the greatest champions of all time, 7-time Olympia champion, Lewis.
Well, Sean, where they say the Olympia is about the moments, and Flex Lewis just gave us a moment we won't soon forget. It's not every day we hear a 34-year-old talk about walking away from the stage, so I guess it remains to be seen, but his message to the fans, I think, was well received, because I know I have a son in that audience tonight, and those are the types of things that you want these champions to teach and to inspire, and Flex Lewis, you have inspired a lot of people around the world tonight. And congratulations on your 7th and apparently final title.
Living the American dream. Come back to the Open finalist, Dan, and this is where the rubber is about to hit the road.
This is it, folks, the last comparison for the title of Mr. Olympia. Let's send it down to the table. 16.
Thank you, Bob. Bill and Brandon, switch, please.
Rolly and William, switch, please.
Gentlemen, spread out and hit a front double bicep. All right, the last time you've got to be prepared. History will be made one way or the other. You cannot stop progress. Bill will either win or he will not. And either way, it will be a historic moment by the time Steve Weinberger does his final comparison. Side chest. One side note, that is Brandon soul brother number 1 Curry that is in that top 5 call out. It's a very unfamiliar place, but well deserved. I take several big names, including Cedric McMillan and Dexter Jackson, and Big Rami. You now see Brandon Curry making his first ever appearance in the top 5 of a Mr. Olympia.
Spread out, guys. Everyone take a step.
Bill directing traffic up there, making sure there's plenty of room. That's the veteran, especially when you got $400,000 on the line and an 8 Sandow trophy you're fighting for. You won't have plenty of space down on that stage. Right now, they all are serious.
Sean, I'm going to just ask you this one question. Has anything changed in the way you see this competition from last night to right now?
Yeah, this is coming down to the wire. Again, we counted the poses, and if we're going numerically on the poses, Sean Roden slightly edges out. But again, those signature poses are carrying him in this dogfight right here. But it's hard for me to stop looking at what Roden is presenting on that stage. I've only witnessed, Dan, personally, one upset on this Olympia platform, and that was back in 2008. Jackson took out the reigning defending champion in the form of Jay Cutler. Now, that case was 10 years ago. And if it happens to get here tonight, the question will remain, if Phil gets beat, does he come back next year to try to make history? That's going to be the bigger question.
We know what happens. We saw Jay Cutler defeat Ronnie Coleman.
Your favorite most muscular.
Dexter Jackson defeat Jay Cutler.
We saw Lee Haney beat Samir Banu in 1984.
And we saw Phil Heath defeat Jay Cutler. We've seen this story play out. So history suggests that it can happen. That's an impressive pose by the champion Phil Heath. Right now, I'd like to see Sean Rhodes fighting a little bit harder at this point. But
I think Sean's done enough, bro. I mean, I'm looking at this in real time.
Yep.
I got Sean Rhodes right now with a very narrow, very tight upset in this contest.
well, here it is. Generally, if the fans in the audience have something to say about it, MR.OLYMPIA is their Olympia champion. But Phil Heath from Arvada, Colorado is here. He's trying to win the title for the 8th time. And as you mentioned, a tremendous showing for Brandon Curry, who continues to quietly and slowly move into the top group. Sean Roden and
Bill's dragging Sean to hit his favorite pose, and Sean is playing into that. Sean should turn around right now and hit an abdominal thigh shot while Bill hits his favorite pose, which is his back shot.
Sean, is anything happening right now that will influence the outcome of this competition?
Those judges right now are just double checking to make sure that they've done their due diligence, which I can appreciate. And these guys are entertaining us while the judges are doing what they've done. This thing is being judged right now. And I got to tell you, if you're going to give Sean Rhodes the title of Mr. Olympia, you better make sure you got him across the team. But I can tell you, he would be worthy of that recognition should they decide to
They are
do that.
chasing the champ. Phil Heath moves to the left side of the stage, as does the rest of the pack. William Bonac, again, another tremendous Olympia appearance. It won't be good enough to win, but it was good enough to remain among the very best on the planet.
Phil is very smart in showing his back doing all of these poses. That's his number one pose. It's how this shows won and lost. He won this contest last year on those back shots, and he could do enough to win it here again tonight. So this show is still up for grabs as we come to the wire.
In a few moments, we will see history. Either an 8th Sandow for Phil Heath or the crowning of the 14th winner of this contest. So the feeling in the arena is palpable. There's a lot of intensity, and people know that this thing is very much up for grabs.
I can tell you on the look on Phil's face, he's struggling, and he does not look as supremely confident as he did in prior victories.
Sean, I can't remember the last time at this very moment that we were as unclear as we are right now.
We're both witnessing history, like you said, one way or the other.
Representing EPI Sports is COO, Mr. Chris McKenzie. Please take the 5th place award, the 5th place check for $45,000, and present it to Brandon Curry.
All right, another strong Olympia for Brandon Curry, and he moves into the top 5, which means he is now qualified for the 2019 Mr. Olympia. And he'll pick up a nice check, and also he will command the status and the respect that comes with being in this very exclusive club.
He's probably had the hardest run of them all, with 4 kids running around, long times away from the family over there at Oxygen Gym. Best he's ever done in this show. On this stage, if he dries up a little bit more, drops a little bit of weight, that's hard to say. I think he'll streamline this league and be right back in the hunt again. But right now, he's remaining in the top 4. He's off an Arnold Classic Championship. That's not an easy thing to do. And a year ago, he didn't have to deal with that.
And then there were the top three bodybuilders on the planet: Bill Heath, Willie Winkler, and Sean Roden await the announcement of third place.
Rolly is in a very unfamiliar position at this moment.
It's Kevin Day. We say the third place award, the Olympia bronze medal, the check for $100,000 to your third place finisher, Rolly Winkler.
Sean Ray, your people's champion, is the number 3 bodybuilder in the world. A terrific Olympia showing for Rolly as he continues to fine-tune that massive physique, those freaky proportions, and he has turned it in to what is now one of the top physiques on the planet. Rolly Winkler is your third place finisher.
With $100,000 to show for it, man, that was earned the hard way. Rolly Winkler, very deserving, very popular, and his status and his stock in this industry has just gone up twofold. And then there were two.
Finally, we have Sean Roden and Bill Heath on the center line, please.
We've seen this play out before as Bill Heath held off a fast charging Sean Roden several years back. And now we're going to see the rubber match.
And what's at stake? The runner-up will win $150,000. The winner will win $400,000. And in Olympian tradition, Bob Chicarella will probably announce the winner.
That's right. Will be your 2018 Mr. Olympia. Presenting the first place award, representing Midway West, Mr. Wilton Kelly and Catherine Kelly, and our IFBB Pro-League President, Mr. Jim Mannion. I will now announce the winner of the 2018 Olympia. We take the Sandow Trophy, the Olympia Gold Medal, the check for $400,000, and the title of 2018 Mr. Olympia. To our winner, and new Olympia champion.
There it is. It has happened in Las Vegas for just the 14th time. We have a new Mr. Olympia. The defending champion has been knocked out. Sean Roden is your 2018 Olympia champion. Bill Heath's one, at least for now, will end at 7 in one of the more improbable developments. Bill Heath stands at center stage, congratulating the winner, Sean Roden. And I got to tell you, Sean Ray, coming into this weekend, there weren't many people that would have ever cared to predict this outcome.
Absolutely, I wasn't one of those guys that thought that for 2 seconds. I talked to a fellow professional bodybuilding friend of mine from Italy, who saw Sean Roden on Wednesday night the day I arrived. He has a show coming up the Amateur Olympic in Italy next weekend. He said he saw Sean Roden, and Sean Roden was going to win this show. And I looked him in the eye, and I could not believe what he was saying. Sean Roden has accomplished what no other man has in over 10 years.
Our coverage is going to continue after the break. Stick around, guys. All right, we are back. An historic night here in Las Vegas. Shawn Rhoden has just been crowned Mr. Olympia in one of the more improbable developments in the history of this contest. Very few people saw this coming. There was an expectation that some guys would push Phil to the limit. Shawn Rhoden was not on many of those lists, especially after what played out last year where he finished fifth. And here he is, the final man standing, and Phil Heath's run ends at 7, or he will remain tied with the great Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Bob kicked his ass. Did the judges get it right? And to a resounding applause, they said yes. I believe Shawn's waiting for his kid to come on stage to share the moment. Shawn Rhoden a year ago had a kid, and a couple years ago, I should say, which takes your eye off the prize, and there she is. That dress has got all kinds of stuff on it now, but it's got that gold medal, and she'll remember this moment years to come.
And a reminder, do not put your kids in white when you have Rogan on. I know, sweetie, I feel the same way. Shawn Rhoden, you're the new Mr. Olympia. Wow, what a great fight, Shawn. Everybody could see yesterday that you brought it. You brought your A game, and you came here. What's the matter, sweetie? You want to say something? Daddy. Said hi, Daddy.
Hi,
Yeah, guess what? Daddy's missing.
Hi,
She said congratulations. Here's something you can play with. Look at it. Wow, look at that. Isn't that cool? All right, let's talk with the champ. Shawn, congratulations, my friend. You have done the unthinkable. You have beaten the great and 7-time Olympia champion, Phil Heath. You believed in yourself. You told everybody you were not messing around. You came here to win. You are the new Mr. Olympia.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for coming out and showing support to all these amazing athletes. Jim Mannion, AMI, C-Boy Merger, all these wonderful judges. Thank you guys so much. My family for making it out here. Man, it's been a long journey. It's been a long journey, and I'm thankful for today. Yes, today that I was able to fight my way to something that I believed that I was going to be number 14.
And you are number 14. Only 14 men in history since 1965 have held this title. Some of those great names that you know, of course. And you just beat a hell of a champion in Phil Heath, the 7-time champion. Nobody thought he could be beaten, but you did it.
I've been watching the show since 2012, taking a lot of notes, and I know people might laugh at me when I say that, hey, one day I was going to be Mr. Olympia. Here I am, folks. This is probably my hardest prep ever, but I wanted it so bad. I'm thankful that I'm here.
Shawn, look at that Sandow trophy down there. That's going to look really nice on the mantle, isn't it?
I haven't even think that far, you know. This past couple of days has just been a roller coaster. You know, I have a great supporting cast, Chris Aceto, Cycle Fitness. My training partner make it to the Olympia for the first time, Stefano. And I'm going to tell you, man, they beat the crap out of me these past couple of months just to get here. And
To you fans out here for your support. You know, every time I look and I hear someone say Sean is too small, Sean is spending too much time with his family, Sean looks like he's retired. But it's okay. We had a game plan and we stuck to it. And we found our way to come here. Did everything that I possibly could have can to look good this weekend.
Well, Sean, you certainly did more than look good. You look great, and the judge is certainly rewarding that with an Olympia victory. Take me through yesterday. After prejudging, what were your feelings after you stepped off the stage?
To be honest, man, I walked out here yesterday, and I looked at Chris and I said, it's only Friday. You know, I know a lot of people had me, winning or a close second, but I just looked at Chris and said, it's only Friday, Chris. We still have Saturday. Let's just focus on today. And that's what we did, one day at a time.
What did you think when you came here tonight for the final, Sean? Did you think you had it? Did you think Phil was going to eat you? We all know Phil comes back better on Saturday, so you knew you had a battle coming up tonight. But what were your feelings? Did you think you had it?
Listen, guys, Phil is no slouch. I've been chasing him since 2012, so I know in the back of my mind, I'm like, hey, he's missed a Saturday night. He come in here and he could look his all-time best. But again, I looked at Chris Cedar and Chris said, hey, you know what, Sean? You'll be better than you were yesterday. And if that man believed in me, I'm good.
All right, Sean Roden. Right here in the center, I want you to hit your first pose as your new 2018 Mr. Olympia. Oh, hey, that was not easy to get back, Sean.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. 14. I don't even want to use the word lucky. This was earned and the hard way.
And please help me in celebrating your new Olympia champion, Sean Roden.
Sean Roden, as we've known for the years, is a man of few words. He lets his physique do all the talking. He did just that tonight. And it took 54 years. We have ourselves a 14th champion.
By way of Jamaica, this is the guy that took 7 years off of bodybuilding to prepare for his ailing father. He passed away, came back, turned pro by winning the North American Championships, and slowly started to serve notice by winning the Arnold Classic over in Spain. Came out, got second runner-up here, and now he became the Buster Douglas of modern-day bodybuilding by knocking out the reigning defending champion. Here's our top 5 leaderboards.
Sean Roden wins it. He defeats the defending champion Phil Heath and Willie Winkler. Of course, what we are learning now, William Ronak in fourth and Brandon Curry rounds out the top 5. We're waiting for those other scores to come in so we can round out the top 10. You might have to wait a little bit later in the program again. But first things first, Sean Roden has defeated Phil Heath in a stunning turn of events. Not so stunning if you consider the pace of the show, but stunning when you consider what we walked into as we arrived here in Vegas. There were very few people that ever considered the possibility that Sean Roden, after last year's fifth place finish, was going to come in well above 40 years old and win this competition. But a tremendous event, and we're going to take a quick break.
That's Tom, Sean, Dan Sullivan backstage.
I know you had a plan going back.
We're going to throw things backstage. Dan Sullivan trying to get an audience with our reigning champion for 2018, Sean. Oh, Flex Lewis, our 212.
My right has just been one part of all the history that has been made tonight here at the 2018 Olympia. And Flex Lewis, congratulations. You are the 212 champion once again for the 7th time.
Wow, it's very surreal again. There's an execution plan made 20 weeks out, and of course, my body was telling me at 226, jump on stage. And we just had to rechange the plan. And getting here today, I've come without this whole sacrifice, and from everybody, from the family, all to see me fulfill my dream. And Coach Liam Hill doing what he does is absolutely phenomenal. And again, I'm lost for words. I think I left everything up on stage in what I said tonight.
It's unusual at 34 years old that we hear somebody step to center stage and talk about the fact that they are walking away. And you'll have to forgive my skepticism a little bit, because when we look at your physique, when we look at your energy and where you're at in your life, that you have still a lot more to do as a bodybuilder. So I'm going to challenge you a little bit on that, and I'm going to question this decision. Are you sure now is the time to step away? And give us some clarity on this plan. Are you stepping away from this division? Are you stepping away from the sport? Is there a bigger picture plan that you want to fill us in on?
Well, as you know me, Dan, I always have a plan on things, and I'm all about breaking down barriers and opening new doors. What I've achieved in this sport, you know, as a kid, if I thought about it, it blows my mind, you know, but I dream big. And as a 212 athlete, you'll never hear that name being called out again on stage. But for the future, I think there's going to be definitely a time and a place where I definitely jump back on stage as an open class guy. But it's got to be done right. It's got to be done in the pace that allows me to grow, mature in the right areas without rushing. And that being said, you know, I've got a lot of irons in the fire, and I'm ready to open a lot of doors that bodybuilders haven't had the chance to yet. And I've already done that this year. So I'm excited to explore new avenues. Like I said, open doors for the whole fitness industry into what I'm doing. And there's a lot of things that I need to fulfill from the personal standpoint before I even think about opening the door to standing on the open stage.
I'll tell you this. I'll let you put a bookmark in your career, at least for now. We're not going to let you off the hook that easily. But I had a son who was in the audience tonight. And when I heard you talk about never giving up on your dreams and inspiring fans really around the world the way you do, that's a big part of your story. It's such a big part of your message. And you've done such a great job of serving as a tremendous ambassador to the sport. So, Flex, I applaud you for that. And what you are is so much more than a physique. You are somebody that has brought an important message and important energy to a sport that oftentimes needs that positivity.
Yeah, and again, bodybuilders have been given this cliche, right? And when I got into this sport, long before I became the champion, I wanted to break that stereotype. And that is still a personal goal of mine. I've broken these barriers. And again, with where I am in life right now, it's about having the mainstream look at a champion with a different mindset and a different eye, and again, representing the sport on stage and off. So the next generation, all these new young blood coming through, I put the bar up high. And again, representing on stage and off is what this medal means, and has done for me long before the was around my neck. And aspiring people, the young kids like yourself, and I do live by that motto, dream big. And everybody out there should. Dream big, never give up new goals. And again, just have that belief that whatever you put your mind to, you can achieve.
For Flex Lewis, his dreams came true 7 times. Your 2018 under 212 champion. Congratulations, Flex. Well done. We're going to go ahead and bring in somebody else who has just made a bit of history. You know, we give these interviews here when we get to stand here and talk to the winner of the Mr. Olympia. It's one of the great privileges, one of the great things that I get to do each and every year is talk to the #1 bodybuilder in the world in the moments after an Olympia is settled. And I'm not going to lie to you, Sean, Never in a million years did I imagine that I'd be standing here talking to you as the greatest champion. Having said that, when you walked out tonight and what you presented last night and again tonight, it was extraordinary. The fans around the world agreed with the decision. You delivered something remarkable. You bounced back from a year ago where you were off and you talked about some of those trials and tribulations going into last year's competition. And in one of the more improbable turn of events, you have won a Sandow Trophy. You are the 14th man to do so. So for that, we congratulate you on an extraordinary achievement.
Thank you. It's haven't sunk in this yet, but it's been a long, long year from last Olympia. Broken jaw, mouth wired shut, had to eat through a straw, had to blend all my food. Still able to fight my way to the top 5 last year, and I started my prep this year for the Arnold Classic, ended up with 2 bleeding ulcer and 8 blood transfusion. Had to pull out the last couple of weeks. And I wanted to make a statement for this year's Olympia. And when I told people it's going to win the Olympia this year, a lot of people kind of laughed at me because I looked like I was about to be retired. But I have a great coach, Chris Aceto, great training, Psycho Fitness 21, and a training partner that will never let me quit. My family was always like, hey, you know what? Just focus.
Let's get down to brass tacks here. You beat a really good champion tonight. Phil Heath has done remarkably over the last 7 years, winning this title, and he came in very confident this weekend. He thought he had this thing coming into the competition. You were very confident, as we saw from the very early phases of the weekend. You came out here, took care of business. Talk about not what it feels like, Mr. Olympia. Talk about what it feels like to defeat the great Phil Heath.
You know, I've been on stage with Phil since 2011. It's a great feeling, man, because, again, Phil is no slouch. You have Dexter Jackson from Mr. Olympia also that were on stage. And I know these guys are 2 champions, and they worked their butt off, and everybody was going to come in here firing on all cylinders. So Rolly Winkler and William Bonac moved up the chain this year. One thing that my coach told me is, Sean, just stay in your own lane. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Just focus on what you need to do. The only thing that we need to do here for this Olympia is bring the best show ever. Because if you bring the best show, it's going to be very hard for anyone to beat you. And I believe it.
You're also one of the oldest men to win this competition for the first time. I think Chris Dickerson may have been a year older. How old are you? Put out the number.
43.
43. I think Chris Dickerson was also 43 when he won the competition. So hopefully some of our historians out there will determine if you are the oldest to actually win the contest for the first time. How many more years?
I'll be back. I'm going to leave it at that.
Well, I do want to just put some perspective for you, if I could, before I let you run. The Olympia Winners Club is the most prestigious club in this sport. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sergio Oliva, Dorian Yates, the Ronnie Colemans, Jade Cutler. You are Phil Heath. You are in that club. No matter what happens for you going forward, no matter what happens to you for the rest of your life, you are forever a Mr. Olympia champion. Pick up that Sandow trophy and show the world what you have just done. Remarkably, extraordinarily, impressively, and well-deserved. Shawn Rhoden, your 2018 Mr. Olympia champion. Any final thoughts before you get out of here and go eat?
Just want to thank my family for putting up with me the last couple of weeks. I miss my family, training in LA. My coach, Chris Aceto, and Psycho Fitness. Thank you guys so much for continuing to believe in me when everybody else stopped.
And then there were 14. Shawn Rhoden, congratulations, our newly crowned Olympia champion. I think that's going to wrap things up here from Las Vegas at the Orleans Arena. Our coverage of Joe Weider's Olympia weekend has now come to an incredible close with the crowning of a new champion. They often say in this sport of bodybuilding, the most memorable nights are the nights where a champion is crowned for the very first time. And Sean Roden, thanks to you, you have given us that moment. For all of us here, we appreciate the hard work of Robin Chang and everybody over at the Olympia production team, our director, Luz Wick, my co-host, Amanda Latona, and Hall of Famer Sean Ray. For our newly crowned champion, Sean Roden, I'm Dan Solomon. Good night.
Ez a pozíció megfelel, köszönjük. Lazítson, kérem. Nincsenek gyenge pontjai. Néhány éve még voltak hibáim, de folyamatosan arra a célra koncentráltam, hogy mindet kijavítsam, egészen a tökéletességig. Ez azt jelenti, hogy ha egy izmot egy centivel növelni akarok, akkor az egész testet kell növelni. Sosem növelem vagy csökkentem az izmaimat külön-külön. Ennek az az oka, hogy tökéletessé váltak a testem arányai, és csak a pózolásomat lehet tökéletesíteni, de már ezen sincs mit csiszolni. Tökéletes vagyok. Ó, igen, ez az igazság. Meg fogják látni.
More times. Dig deep down and ask yourselves, who do you want to be? Not what, but who. I'm talking about figuring out for yourselves what makes you happy. You have to think outside the box. That's what I believe after all. What is the point of being on this earth if all you want to do is be liked by everyone and avoid trouble? We have so many rules in life about everything. I say break the rules, not the law, but break the rules. I remember that after I was finished with my bodybuilding career, I wanted to be acting, I wanted to be in a star, films. Everyone had the same mind that it can't be done. Just look at your body. You have this huge, monstrous body, overly developed. This doesn't fit into the movies. But, I didn't listen to all this. This was the rules. I was convinced I could do it. And then I got a big break in Conan the Barbarian. Trust yourself no matter what anyone else thinks. And then the director said, if we wouldn't have Schwarzenegger, we would have to build one. Then when I did Terminator, I'll be back. One of the most famous lines in movie history, all because of my crazy accent. It just shows you never listen that you can't do something. Don't be afraid to fail. Anything I've ever attempted, I was always willing to fail. Don't be afraid of making decisions. You can't be paralyzed by fear of failure, or you will never push yourself. You keep pushing because you believe in yourself and in your vision. And you know that it's the right thing to do. Success will come, so don't be afraid to fail. I mean, how many times have you heard that you can't do this, you can't do that, and it's never been done before? So pay no attention to the people that say it can't be done. If I would have listened to the naysayers, I would still be the Austrian Alps yodeling. I would never have come to America. I always listened to myself and said, yes, you can. You never want to fail because you didn't work hard enough. Work your butt off. I always believe leaving no stone unturned. No pain, no gain. And you're out there, hard, horsing around. Someone out there at the same time is working hard. Someone is getting smarter and someone is winning. Just remember that. You can't climb the ladder.
The Barbarian. And we're going to start shooting the first few scenes in October. And so I really wanted to be muscular because the idea was that Conan was a very muscular, heroic-looking guy and that I should be in top shape. So all along with sword fighting lessons and dancing lessons and all that, I did my bodybuilding. But the closer I came to this competition, the more people started speculating on the idea that I would be competing. And the more I started thinking about the possibility. And so around 2 weeks ago, I decided, well, I think it would be kind of an interesting challenge, really, to do something in 8 weeks that most of the guys do in preparing a year or 2 years. When I train, it really depends on what body part I train, what I think about. But it always has to be something that has some form of the other. I really psych myself up for it. It's impossible to squat with 400 or 500 pounds. I mean, it's really hard to do that, and it can be boring. And so what you do is you create a certain excitement. That's what you think about. You think about your next set. You think about a particular muscle that you're training. You try to isolate the muscle. You try to pump it up. You let blood go into this area and stuff like that. And your feedback then always is that the muscle is responding and that it grows. Can you pull out the hand here? Okay, thank you. No. In films, when there is your camera around, you always do like this. It makes the trauma build up a little bit.
The shoulders over hand.
Right. There's a 10-pound plate, but you must make it sound like it was 1,000 pounds.
So everybody thinks you were
macho. Concentration is one of the things that I've built the body more than anything. Focus in, concentrate on one thing, and not no matter if there's a bomb exploding around you, do not lose your concentration. You know, those are a wonderful thing to be equipped with.
Striving after an ideal in the sense that you're molding your physique, right? You're developing your body, changing the contours and shapes of the muscles so it looks a certain way you want it to look, a certain mental perception you perceive, trying to gain that or trying to make yourself into that perception. There's a lot of mental training involved in bodybuilding. I think also you're cultivating a feeling inside. You have a need, a calling, much like a priest. You have this inherent need to do something you must do, and you'll not be happy unless it's fulfilled. That's where I'm at. That's why I'm here today. In fact, I believe very much that bodybuilding is more mental than physical. You're concerned with this, first of all, this mental projection, what you want to look like, what you want to be like, as far as the contour and shape of your body. You're concerned with daily feelings of exercises and handles and muscles. You're concerned with putting your mind in the muscle.
Remember also that every man Facing me, please. Face me, please. Chris, this way, please. Tricep pose, please. Turn forward. I was worried from the time I stepped on a stage for the first round. It's amazing how insecure you get after not being on stage for 5 years. I mean, I used to go out and it was my home on stage. This time I went out and I felt very uncomfortable. You know, being a showpiece out there. You know, being also having people look at you in a bathing suit. I'm the kind of a character that doesn't like to expose himself, okay? And whatever you see on stage, that's you, you know? And whenever you watch somebody in the gymnasium, the way he trains, that's the extension of him. And I felt this time I had to expose myself. I had to stand out there for an hour or two and just be compared to all those different guys. And that is what I didn't like at all.
The important thing is that you always challenge yourself, you know, and I'm a strong believer in the philosophy of staying hungry. You know, it's really always being hungry for more and being hungry for bigger and better things, you know. And whenever I have achieved the goal, then immediately after that, I ask myself, what other challenge can I put up to try to achieve, you know, and that's what staying